Hello, hello. I'm just inviting people and sharing in different places so that we can get this started. Hello, there we go. John T. Snow is here. John T. Snow's in the house. Now, I was thinking of John because there's one box set in particular I'd like to show off to John. I'm just trying to find the right balance of lighting here as well. We're going to do the box set that I had in mind for John first. But first, yes, it's that time. You know what time it is. It's time for What the Hell is LeBrain's Dad Watching on TV? I'm going to go get the phone and we're going to find out. Oh, hi, Mom. How are you tonight?
I'm good.
You're live on What is LeBrain's Dad Watching on TV?
Okay. LeBrain's dad is watching National Geographic and how the animals survive in Antarctica.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Disappointing again, though. It's not something crazy like usual.
I know. Sorry.
It's 2 weeks in a row he's let me down.
Sorry.
Well, what can we do? This feature may have just come to its last episode tonight.
Oh, has it?
Maybe. Who knows? Unless Dad starts doing things more entertaining, more like his usual self, then we might be SOL.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait for another week and maybe he'll...
Okay, maybe one more week.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for playing.
Okay.
Okay, talk to you later. Enjoy the show.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, the less said about that, the better. Moving on. This week's subject is my favorite box sets, as requested by a reader, and I can't remember which one, but one of you guys requested my favorite box sets, as opposed to last week's, which was rare box sets. Uncle Meat says, you know, he's not really into box sets, so next week we'll shake it up and do something different so that more people can feel like they're a part of things. And that's up to you what next week is going to be. I was thinking of doing maybe my favorite vinyl. Maybe we'll do my favorite vinyl next week. But this week we're doing my favorite box sets. And we're going to start with one that I picked out specifically for John T. Snow, who, contrary to popular opinion, actually does know things. You know, you may have heard that John Snow knows nothing, but it is not true. John Snow actually knows 2 or 3 things. At least 2 or 3 things. So I have a massive pile of box sets next to me here. And this one came out in, what, 2002, I believe? 2001. And this is the cardboard panel that came on the back of it. Yes, it is the Kiss box set featuring the guitar case, which apparently I forgot to dust off before going live tonight. What would this show be if not a series of blunders, one after the other? There is the Kiss miniature guitar box set. Fucking dusty. This is an embarrassment. Embarrassing. But there it is. And like any real guitar case, it has latches by which you can open it up. Now this is where it gets tricky, because there are CDs in this half of the case and there are CDs in this half of the case, and they're just held in by friction and nothing but friction. So we'll open this up very carefully. Very, very carefully. Whoa, yeah, that always happens. One of these discs comes flying out, but there you go. The Kiss guitar case box set. Inside, we will go through some of the contents. This didn't come with the box set. This came from the Psycho Circus video, perhaps, I believe. That's what this came with. The Psycho Circus video. It's the 3D glasses. This is just the Kiss catalog from around the time that this box set came out. This is the thank you letter for buying this box set. I don't believe this came with the regular edition of the box set, so I'll read it. Here it is. All the pleasures and treasures of 30 years of doing it our way. This box set is the culmination of our belief in us, your belief in us, and most importantly, our belief in you. By being uncompromising in your thoughts, opinions, and dedication, you are the cornerstone in history. Kind of kissing your ass for buying the box set, which I guess makes sense. I mean, like, you spent... And no, Chris Sarr, I am not telling you how much I paid for this box set. I am not answering any of your questions regarding finances. And no, she didn't make me dust the house when I was younger. Anyway, I don't know how many copies of this box set were made. I don't know how much I paid for it anymore. But there's Kiss thanking me by kissing my ass for buying the box set, which I'm a sucker for buying in the first place. Here's the hardcover book that came with it. I don't know if the... can't remember what the other version of the box set came with, if it was a hardcover or a softcover. But the book, contents-wise, is exactly the same. You know, track-by-track commentary about all of the songs in the box set. And it has the exact same 5... I'll just pull out a couple of them. 5 jewel-cased CDs. Everything at this point is identical to the regular box set. And Jon Snow says he did not get a thank you letter in his vault. That is sad. That is very sad. You'd think that Gene could have given you a thank you letter for buying the damn vault. Gene actually sent my mom a letter when we ordered the first history book on her credit card. He sent my mom a letter apologizing for the delay in history coming out. This box set comes with one other thing that the standard edition box set does not come with. Sorry, 2 other things. Keys, in case you wanted to lock up your precious Kiss CDs and your precious letter from Kiss. You got keys, so you can lock the thing. And, of course, a little packet of silicate to keep the moisture levels exactly right and to preserve your precious investment. This is absolutely one of my favorite box sets. And I can give you a number of reasons why that is. But to do that, we'll have to go to the track listing. Because a shitty box set and a guitar case is still a shitty box set. So let's find out why this box set is one of my favorites. Okay, so although some fans have complained that Kiss could have been more complete with some of their inclusions here, like, for example, some of the stuff that ended up on the Vault box set, like the Van Halen demos, you do get a generous slice of rare Kiss on here, including 3 of the Wicked Lester tracks, Keep Me Waiting, She, and Love Her All I Can, which are vastly superior to any of the bootleg versions of the Wicked Lester tracks available. Derek Stephen Williamson. There's a name drop for you. Did you like that? I'll do it again. Derek Stephen Williamson. Tons of rarities on this thing, though. I mean, we got an early Paul Stanley demo called Stop, Look to Listen. We have an early Gene Simmons demo called Lita, which I know for a fact is on the Vault. We have unreleased Kiss tracks like Don't You Hesitate, which is a completely previously unknown song. Fucking great tunes on this thing, all through the Kiss history, from the first demos they did as independent singer-songwriters, all the way up to the forthcoming Kiss Alive 4, which, interestingly enough, never really came out in the way it was intended to. It was announced that Kiss Alive 4 was going to be the next Kiss album. All the different bonus tracks for the different retailers were announced, and then the release was canceled. And Kiss Alive 4 ended up becoming the Kiss Symphony. And the original Kiss Alive 4, from which this version of Rock and Roll All Night came from, was later released as part of a box set. Again, another box set. And it was renamed the Millennium Concert. Kiss the Millennium Concert. All the same bonus tracks were still out there, too. And it's good coffee. So that's a box set that I pulled out and didn't dust off for Jon Snow, because I knew he would appreciate seeing some Kiss. Some Kiss tonight. So now that we have the Kiss out of the way, let's go to another beloved box set. Incidentally, I am saving the best one for last. We don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. This one is dusted off. My first box set. My very first box set. Christmas 1990. I believe this one was a gift from Santa Claus, if I'm not mistaken. This was my very first Led Zeppelin. It was big news that this was coming out. Much Music were really pounding the music videos for Traveling Riverside Blues and Over the Hills and Far Away. Two great songs. And I asked for this for Christmas because I figured I had lived my life long enough without any Led Zeppelin in it. And I decided to take the plunge in the best way possible at the time. This box set contains 54 Led Zeppelin tracks over 4 discs. And it does include 4 rarities, most of which have been re-released in other sets, but I think one is still exclusive to this set. I also loved the front cover art because crop circles are part of the UFO mythology that I really enjoy. John T. Snow says, thanks for the kiss, Mike. And Derek Williamson says, get a room, you two. When the artwork for this box set was released, one of my friends at high school said, well, of course Led Zeppelin would be responsible for crop circles. It only makes sense all this time. I love that. Led Zeppelin were responsible for the crop circles. There you go. I also like... I just happen to like these box sets that are vinyl shaped. They store better. And there's the booklet. Now, strangely enough, I actually ended up with two booklets. One came from Record Store Excess. We had a booklet that didn't have a box set, so I have 2 booklets now. Hey, so if you need a Led Zeppelin booklet, let me know, and when this is all over, I'll hook you up. The Led Zeppelin booklet was my introduction to the group. I read this cover to cover when I got the box set for Christmas that year. Read everything I could about every track. Tried to memorize all the details of Led Zeppelin so I could get myself up to speed. And what do you know? This box set is freaking amazing. Now, a lot of people complained about it at the time. There's some tracks that are not on here that you might say, well, what the hell? One of those tracks was Good Times, Bad Times. A lot of people said, well, where the hell is that one? Living, Loving Maid is another one you might question. Why is that not on here? And I suppose the answer is that Jimmy Page picked the songs that he wanted on this album, on this box set. Simplest answer I can give you. Some criticized the remastering job. And indeed, since this time, Jimmy Page has remastered the Led Zeppelin catalog again. I liked that each disc had its own dedicated artwork for each band member. So you can see this one here is the feather. This is disc 1, incidentally, is the feather in the circle, which is Robert Plant's symbol. Disc 2, if you look at the hourglass, you can see Zoso written in shadow on the hourglass. So that's Jimmy Page's disc, disc 2. Disc 3 is Bonzo's. You can see the 3 circles that represent the drums. So that's Bonzo's disc. And disc 4, that leaves John Paul Jones. There's his symbol in the water. So you get the 4 symbols. I just noticed, and this is just pure age, the foam interior that holds in these discs is starting to rip and tear a bit. I just noticed it this time taking the box out. And that's just age. This is 1990. So this box set is 30 years old. And things like foam will deteriorate over time. That's just nature. Mr. Page really dislikes Living Loving Maid, says Harrison Kopp. A shame, really. Yes, that is a shame. Any reason why he hates it, do you know? Can you get back to me on that? That seems a little... I gotta disagree with Jimmy Page on that one. I just gotta. Okay, next box set. Shall we? Shall we? Truly a very special box set by Rhino. This is The Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper. And look at that. There's a little window in the front of the box, and you can see Alice behind bars in that little window. Isn't that cool? I'll open it up so you can see how that's done. There's the back of it. You can see there's a couple layers of plastic there to give it a three-dimensional effect, but there's a layer that shows the bars, and there's a layer that shows Alice's face, and that kind of gives it some depth when you see Alice behind bars in his own box set. This, again, is a fantastic box set to listen to. It's 4 discs. Each one is individually jewel cased, as box sets should be, in my opinion. Another booklet. I don't like these half-sized box sets so much. I want to say half-sized, you know, in comparison to the Led Zeppelin, which was a full square. Oh, look in the back of the box set. It's a casket. It's the inside of a casket. Isn't that quaint? Harrison Kopp says the source given for Page's dislike is a book that I don't have and therefore cannot elaborate, unfortunately. Damn. Oh well. Thanks for trying, though. Yeah. So I mean, it's not. These books are harder to read, right? But it's a lovely set once again with tons and tons of rarities, tons and tons of photos. Everybody available participated. This is just a great box set. The Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper. I got this from HMV up in Waterloo. And yeah, it's fantastic. Early singles on here by Alice's group, The Spiders, which evolved into the Nas, which of course evolved into Alice Cooper. Tons of early stuff, demos, single versions, all kinds of stuff on here. Some of my favorites include the songs from... Alice Cooper was in a shitty movie called Monster Dog, and I always wondered what it was like, and it turns out that he did a couple of tracks for that movie. Identity Crises and See Me in the Mirror, which are really kind of low budget Alice Cooper tracks, but I love the obscure stuff. Hard Rock Summer from the Friday the 13th soundtrack is more of a Hard Rock Summer kind of song, but it's really cool to have it. Oh, I love his cover of I Got a Line on You from Iron Eagle 2. Love that track. He covered it with Hollywood Vampires as well, more recently, but this is the version that I love. What else is on here? Tons of single versions, non-album tracks like Look at You Over There, ripping the sawdust from your teddy bear. Because, with the Bee Gees, from the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band soundtrack. Hey, Frank Toms, how you doing? Yeah. a really, really well put together box set by Rhino. There's tons more rare Alice Cooper out there that is not on this box set. This is just a taste. You got to ask yourself why they can't release quote-unquote everything. But I think part of it is leaving something behind to release later on to entice you to buy more and more and more. But until that time, you can find a lot of these rare tracks on singles in the Discogs catalog. Some of them are brand new, exclusive to this box set, basically. Yeah. So this one comes highly recommended by me. It's one that I listen to personally and enjoy quite frequently. Alice Cooper's Life and Crimes of. This came out in 1999. So this would have come out right after his live album, which was called A Fistful of Alice, and right before his next studio album, Brutal Planet, which was the first studio album after quite a long gap. This was one of the gap fillers. Damn, I love coffee. Probably never mentioned that before, how much I love coffee. Next, this one is for Uncle Meat. I don't know if he's watching or not. I know he was watching earlier. If you are still watching, Uncle Meat, this one is for you. This one came in 2 separate mailings. Why? I'll show you why. This is the first part of it. Marillion Early Stages, which is entirely made up of live concerts featuring the masked one himself, Derek William Dick, otherwise known as Fish. And each CD is individually housed in its own sleeve, which is an acceptable way to do a box set when a jewel case is not possible. And a booklet for the whole thing as well. Wow, this thing took a lot of time to fully listen to and absorb. And the crazy thing is that they did another box set that covers the early Steve Hogarth years, live albums from that period as well. This is entirely unreleased concerts. We have September 1982 in Glasgow. We have the Marquee in December 82, which is 2 discs. We have the Reading Festival in August 83. That's 1 disc, 74 minutes long. We have the Hammersmith Odeon, December 84, 75 minutes long. And finally, we have Wembley, November 87. Huh. This is an insane amount of Marillion, and it's all with Fish. And look at that awesome, awesome, awesome artwork. The masked one himself. Yeah. This is an amazing box set. It is not one I listen to as frequently as other box sets in my collection because it is so dense. I mean, there's there's 5 concerts on here. 5 concerts. So you get a lot of repeat from concert to concert, but there's also changes as well. I don't know how many times you get Garden Party on here, but I can see it 4 times maybe, Garden Party. But that's fine, because who doesn't love a garden party? Now the second part was when you pre-ordered this box set, they sent you a signed art print with all 5 band members' signatures. How cool is that? I have to assume that one of these guys is Fish, because it wouldn't make any sense for anybody else to sign it besides Fish. I can't make out whose signatures are whose. I don't know. Maybe Fish didn't sign it. Maybe Hogarth did. I don't know. It would make sense if Hogarth didn't sign it and Fish did, but anyway, so that's why it got mailed in 2 separate packages. That is, this is the kind of thing that really makes pre-orders worthwhile. Getting something that you cannot get at a later date. And I treasure this. And I have something else kind of, sort of similar to this. Chris R. says you've never heard of Marillion. Well, shame on you. That's on you, buddy. That's on you. You're going to have to do some research after this and check out Marillion, especially if you like Genesis. Holy shit, you're not going to believe this, but I was at the November 87 concert at Wembley, says Michael Lefebvre. Holy shit. I am not going to believe that. That's fucking amazing. Well, apparently, Michael, you can buy that concert. And maybe you should, for your own memories. Yeah, so that's really neat. I'll show you something else that is kind of sort of similar in a way, in that they had to send another piece to the puzzle. I was going to show this box set off last week with the rare box sets, but I thought I'd show it off this week instead, since we didn't get to it. This is Steve Vai's Secret Jewel Box. And the funny thing about the Secret Jewel Box is that it's still not complete. He has been releasing discs to go in this sporadically over the last, like, 15 years. And it spells... Yeah. You guessed it. It spells Vai. And there's the big Vai logo on the front. At the top, here... this top compartment opens up. There's a mirror inside. And 3 guitar picks. Whoop. I didn't want to open the front, but it's all one piece. 3 little guitar picks. Each one of them identical, I think. I think they're all identical. Yeah, they're all identical. And then there's room for other treasures that may come out or may never come out. We don't know. Because he's only released this many discs for the set. I believe there's a new one that has just come out or is coming out. I'm not sure. But it's eventually going to spell light without heat. I've got light and I've got the without, but I don't have anything else. And it sure looks like it can... heat is only 4 letters, and it sure looks like it can hold a lot more than just 4 more discs. I guess we'll see. Let's go through each one of these discs, okay? Essentially, the Steve Vai Secret Jewel Box is a collection of his rarities. And I believe the first... you know what? I don't remember exactly. I'm going to say the first 3 discs came with the set, is what I'm going to say. I may be wrong in that. I may be the first 2. But here are the first 3. You can tell they're the first 3 because they spell L-I-G. The first part of Light Without Heat. Disc 1, Steve Vai, The Elusive Light and Sound, Part 1. I believe this is all music from soundtracks. Crossroads, Dudes, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, Encino Man, PCU, and yeah, PCU's a hell of a lot of music he did for that. Holy shit, bunch of tracks. It also has 2 songs called Celluloid Heroes and Love Blood. There's liner notes inside each set. Steve's excellent with his liner notes, incidentally. And I'm not going to go through all the details here, but he will go through, well, if you buy it, you'll read all the stuff here about why all these songs are included and where they were all originated. Bottom line, though, is these are not on his regular albums, these tracks. That's disc 1. Disc 2 is Alcatraz. Yes, Alcatraz! Disturbing the Peace, the one album that Steve Vai did with Alcatraz, featuring Graham Bonnet on lead vocals. He replaced Yngwie J. Malmsteen in this band. And this is Steve Vai's branded reissue, Light Without Heat, right there on the back. That's pretty cool. This is an interesting album. I quite like it. You got to be a Graham Bonnet fan or you're not going to like it at all. And it doesn't hurt if you're a Steve Vai fan. Some people just don't dig him. Don't dig him. And that's fine. Alcatraz, Disturbing the Peace. Disc 2. Disc 3 is even more mind-blowing. Even more. Frank Zappa tracks. Frank Zappa tracks. Again, released on Light Without Heat. Included by permission of the Zappa Family Trust. That's permission that's probably hard to get these days since those people can't agree on anything anymore. So this is all tracks recorded by Frank Zappa with Steve Vai on guitar. See if I can... I'm assuming all of these tracks are on Zappa albums. There wouldn't be anything here that would be exclusive to Zappa collectors. I highly doubt. I'm sure the Black Page is on here. No? Well, it's got a whole bunch of shit on here. It's got Drowning Witch. There you go. Frank Zappa. Third disc. Okay. Next. These ones I definitely bought separately. Oh, come on. It's stuck. There we go. Oh, sorry. They're over here. These ones I definitely bought separately. Mystery Tracks, Archives Volume 3. Miscellaneous Rarities. Shit, you know, I've drawn a blank. I cannot remember what half of these songs are for. Each disc is kind of a theme, you know, like movie tracks and whatnot. We're just going to say these are rarities, miscellaneous rarities. That's probably what they are. He's got a shit ton of these. Tracks that little one-off tracks that he recorded here and there. Here's another one. This one here is all collaborations with other artists. So the very first song is actually a Whitesnake track, Sweet Lady Luck. Then he's got The Rumble, which came from a West Side Story CD that I remember hearing. There's Bold as Love from a Hendrix tribute. Feed My Frankenstein from an Alice Cooper album. So this is kind of a cool disc because it saves you if you're not a Whitesnake fan, but you are a Vai fan. You can just get this instead. You don't have to listen to all the other Whitesnake to get one song that you were missing. That's kind of cool. And the last disc that I have from this set is not by Steve Vai at all. It seems kind of a cop-out to put this in his box set of Vai rarities, but here it is. It's Mike Keneally. Is that how you pronounce it? Keneally? Mike Keneally, keyboard player, piano player, doing piano reductions of some of Steve Vai's compositions. There's stuff on here from Passion and Warfare. Stuff on here from Flexible Leftovers, that kind of thing. And beyond. There's Mike and Steve Vai on the back cover. And there's the spine. WO represents the Light Without Heat portion. It's strange. This is not what I expected to be getting when I bought this box set and started collecting these discs. I didn't expect to get essentially a disc of Vai covers. Great stuff. Not what I was hoping for when I bought this box set. But it came with something that was a neat bonus. And I put it in this special folder. It's the piano sheet music to one of the tracks on the Mike Keneally album, The God Eaters. That's kind of cool. So I kept that safe, obviously. It's too bad, though, that the one bonus thing that I got to go with the box set, this piece of sheet music, doesn't fit in the little compartment in the box set. Like, when are we going to get stuff that fits in that little compartment of the box set? It just seems the whole thing was not adequately planned, is what I'm going to say. The whole thing was not adequately planned. I started collecting that like 15 years ago, and we're still only 6 discs into it. I believe there is a more recent installment released, but I think it's another disc of Vi covers. Somebody performing more versions of Vi, and so I haven't prioritized buying it. I'm a little disappointed. I didn't know what to expect, but I wanted more Vi, not covers of Vi. Why did I include this box set as my favorites? Well, the first 5 discs are fucking awesome. When I was younger, I really jumped into the whole Steve Vai fanhood in earnest. I was never going to be a guitar player, but I just admired his inventiveness with the instrument. And so I wanted to collect every little nook and cranny of his career. I knew I would find something strange, bizarre, varied. And I was right. I did. I got all that. So that's why I bought that Steve Vai box set in the first place, why I love the first few discs of it. And I will eventually, if they continue to release discs to go in there, I will eventually fill the box. I was just hoping it would have been done by now. 15 years! 15 years! Did you know Steve Vai had his own Chinese democracy that we're waiting for him to finish? Well, there it is. You just saw it. It's on the floor right now. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee, and then I'm going to put some discs back in the box, and we'll move on to the next one. "15 years. It'll be nice when it's complete, though, right? Won't it be nice when it's complete? I think it will be. Steve Vai, The Secret Jewel Box. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I'd say. I have one particular box set that I'm saving for last. I want to make sure I leave ample enough time to do that box set, because it's freaking incredible. Yeah, I know. Does this count as a box set, or is this an album? Well, I'm counting as a box set, because, hey, here we are, and I'm the guy with the show, so I decide that it's a box set. This is Deep Purple's last album, Infinite, or Infinite. There seems to be some debate about how that's pronounced. Their new album, Whoosh, is coming out later this year. And they are doing another similar deluxe Whoosh box set. But this is Infinite. This is only a couple years ago. I would say this is 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. But this is a box set, a deluxe edition of the Infinite album. And as we have seen in the past, when I get a t-shirt with a box set, I keep the t-shirt with the box set. That's just, I feel this is part of the set. I don't want to separate it from the set. It's like if you received stickers or a poster in a box set. Are you really going to stick those stickers to something? Are you really going to tape that poster to your wall? I hope not, because I think it's worth more when you keep it with the thing that it came with, and you get a complete box set the way that you bought it. But you do get this t-shirt, which I'm not even going to unfold because I'll never get it folded nicely again. You know what I'm talking about. Once you unfold those things, you can never do it again. The Deep Purple Infinite Deluxe CD. Believe this is the standard retail version because it, well, not standard, but this is the deluxe retail version because it has a barcode on it, a separate barcode. So that tells me that this is something that could be bought separately. It has the album on CD. and a DVD with a 90-minute documentary. And I highly, highly recommend that 90-minute documentary because you will learn things about Steve Morse that you might not have known. Like the tremendous amount of pain he is in from decades of playing his guitar in a certain way that he has done damage to the cartilage of his wrist, and he has to play with a wrist support, and he has to put lotion on his wrist to numb the pain that he is constantly in. Talk about making a sacrifice for your music. This album came with some really nice glossies. You could frame these. Again, I don't think you'd want to, because then you're separating them from the actual box set. That's just my opinion, though. Everybody will have their own opinion. I mean, they're perfectly frameable. These are great pictures. And they've got that whole Antarctic explorer motif going on throughout the album and artwork. Next, one of those things that, again, I would not tape this to my wall, but here is the Deep Purple Infinite poster. I'm not going to unfold the whole thing. It's the same as the album art. But now we get into some seriously cool exclusives. This is the... oh, wait, we're not there yet. A sticker. There you go. Something else that I told you. You're never going to stick that to something. Right? Keep it with the box set. But this is what I bought it for. 3 exclusive records. This, the Now What tapes, Volume 2, is essentially an exclusive live album. I have a feeling it's been reissued in some form, probably a standalone release since then, but any standalone release cannot compete with the coolness of these 10-inch records. White. Clear. And clear blue. This is the kind of thing that you buy a deluxe box set to get. Oh yeah. And not only that, but you get the whole album on vinyl too. Ta-da! So that's a lot of value in here. A lot of value for a great band. A great band. A band that is still great to this day. Where's that t-shirt? There it is. I have more box sets with t-shirts here. I think I have one more coming up in a little while. Now, regarding this Deep Purple box set here, just want to get this lid on. Some people have complained that Ian Gillan's voice is not what it once was, and listening to Deep Purple live today cannot compete with Deep Purple live 1970 and 71 and 72 and blah, 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 blah. And I would agree with that. So, that's why I chose Made in Japan as another one of my favorite box sets. This is 4 discs of Deep Purple's Made in Japan with tons of stuff inside. Tons of stuff. We have a 7-inch single with Smoke on the Water and Smoke on the Water Live. We have a huge booklet once more. That's cool. We have press releases. We have family trees. We have the album on CD, freshly remastered. Over the course of that many discs. I believe one of them's a DVD, but you get 4 CDs and 1 DVD worth of Made in Japan. When I reviewed this on my website, it took me 3 installments to cover the whole thing. Now, the reason this is, to me, so important is that Made in Japan itself, the legendary live album, was but a mere glimpse. It was selections from 3 concerts that Deep Purple played in Japan. For the 20th anniversary, I'm going to say, they did a 3-disc set called Live in Japan, which remixed the tracks and added some more material, boosted it up to 3 CDs, and still was missing various tracks from various shows. Until this box set came out, there was no complete set with all 3 shows. This set has all 3 shows, including the encores. And for something as legendary as Made in Japan, that's worth it. People have been saying, hey, we want to hear full shows ever since Made in Japan came out. This is the way to do it. This is the LeBrain approved way to do it. Now, I promised something very, very cool for my final box set. And we've got 15 minutes left, so this is most likely going to be the final box set. I'm just going to open the window now because the glare is gone. There we go, got some more light. This is something special. This is something not as special as John T. Snow's Gene Simmons Vault box set. Until his Vault box set came out, I would say this was the pinnacle of all box sets in terms of overblown extravagance. Gene Simmons obviously wins with the Vault when it comes to overblown extravagance now. But a few years ago, I would say it was this box set that I'm going to grab for you right now. There it is. There it is. Yep. That's real. It's AC/DC's Backtracks. And even though I dusted this off earlier, I'm still seeing dust. The problem is you don't physically take this out and play it very often. You play the tracks that you rip to your computer. And the nooks and crannies of the handle at the top does collect dust. And this here, this is a speaker. Inside, there's a 9-volt battery. And here at the front, it's a little control panel where you can actually plug in your guitar and play it through this little cardboard amp. It doesn't sound good. I can't demonstrate it for you because my guitar is in storage right now. But there's videos on YouTube. You can watch people plugging into this thing and playing through it. It sounds exactly as good as you think that speaker powered by that battery would sound. And inside, there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good. Oh, I may as well show you the back as well. Look at the old school AC/DC logo. That's pretty neat, huh? There's the sides. It looks like there's stickers. It's meant to look that way. But let's have a look inside. Oh. First of all, this is where the... Whoa! That was the track list that just took a dive. Okay. So first of all, this is where the CDs are kept and DVDs. There's 3 CDs and 2 DVDs, I believe, in here. And I really hate when you pay a lot of money for a box set and they come tucked into sleeves, because this is just asking for stuff to eventually get scratched. So that's another reason why you don't physically play your original box set that often. But that is how the CDs and DVDs are housed. There was a retail version of this box set that came with, I'm going to say, 2 CDs and 1 DVD. So obviously missing quite a few of the rarities that this box set comes with. And you can go on my website and see all the details of what's on here, what's exclusive, etc. In addition to the CDs and DVDs, you also got a vinyl. Here it is. This is just a best of. This is all this is a best of the rarities that are on the box set. AC/DC rarities. The tracks include Stick Around, Love Song, Fling Thing, Rock in Peace, Carry Me Home, Crab City in Blue, Cold Hearted Man, Snake Eye, Borrowed Time, Down on the Borderline, Big Gun, and Cyberspace. No barcode on the back, which means that this was not available separately anywhere else. But it does repeat stuff that you already get on CD in the other package. So I've kept mine sealed. I don't see a reason to open this up and play it. This is one way to ensure that I'm keeping it as mint as I can. And yeah, I know a lot of you are vinyl guys. You love your vinyl, and that's cool. I respect you. But I don't see any reason to play this. What am I going to get out of playing these tracks on vinyl that I already have on the CDs that came in the same box? I don't know. Let me know what you think. You get also this massive hardcover book. It's heavy as fuck. Can you see how thick this book is? Like, this is a serious book. This would cost $60 if you were buying this at a bookstore. But there's no barcode on the back, which means you can't buy it separately. Look at that. Look at that picture of Johnson. Isn't that awesome? Doesn't that just make you smile? This is such a great box set. There is, I've already shown you that page. There is a bit of repeat, because when bands release singles, a lot of the tracks that end up as live B-sides tend to get used more than once over the course of a band's history. So when you compile them in a box set like this, a collection of rarities, they're going to show up more than once. And the set also comes with this secret envelope of assorted memorabilia. Again, I did not open this. It's still sealed in plastic, but you get an AC/DC guitar pick, an AC/DC button, and see if I can get the it's hard to see. You get an AC/DC sticker, and in the back here's an AC/DC tattoo. Now granted, I would be able to look at these things much more clearly if I opened it, but then I could also lose these things much more easily as well. So Mikey is like the Mr. Rogers of metal with this live feed. I'm assuming that's my tone of voice. Welcome, neighbor. I hope you enjoy the show this evening. We're going to be talking about AC/DC, Antichrist Devil's Child. I'm sure you all know that's what AC/DC means. Antichrist Devil's Child. Anyway, I didn't open it. Yes, I probably could and get a little bit more enjoyment out of the items in here. But then I might lose them. And I definitely don't want to lose them. When you spend this much money on a box set, you don't want to lose anything. And there's plenty in here that's losable. Giant poster, which I'm not going to unfold. AC/DC Money. That'd be from the Money Talks era. AC/DC ad from Sounds magazine, looks like. A recording chart from one of the albums. Looks like Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. This would be something they'd use in the studio to keep track of all the tracks that they've recorded for the album. These are not glossy, these are matte photos, but they're nice. They're very... oh, shit. These are nice, though. And Bon Scott in the studio recording his lead vocals for something completely legendary. Yeah, so when you get one of these box sets, you definitely want to keep everything. You don't want to lose it. And I'm very happy with this AC/DC one. Like I said, you just rip the tracks to your computer and play those, and you don't risk the condition of the CDs. That's all you got to do. And you keep your CDs nice and safe for show and tell like we've done today. And, you know, if I could have guests over at the house, you could see it in person, but that's not going to happen right now for obvious reasons, right? AC/DC Backtracks. I don't know if you can still buy this or not, but it's worth it over the retail version because you get so much more songs, or so many more songs, I should say. So there's the back of the AC/DC box set. You can see the vacuum tubes for the supposed amp. This is really nice, the front. I don't know if you can make out the texture, but it feels like a speaker grill with this glued onto it. Yeah, so it's no Vault by Gene Simmons. I'm sure that John T. Snow couldn't take his Vault and do this with it. But until the Vault came out, I think that this is truly, truly the most impressive box set that there is. And it might be better listening than the Vault. I don't know. John actually made the Vault sound pretty cool. But, I mean, comparing AC/DC's actual hits with Gene Simmons' demos, this one might get the edge. I don't know. I don't want to go head-to-head on it. I don't want to go head-to-head. Oh, and the bottom of this box set has little rubber feet to protect the surface of wherever you're storing it. For me, it just, unfortunately, goes in the back of a closet where I keep all my my vinyl and stuff. Kind of unfortunate, but I don't have a really good way to display everything of mine right now. I take stuff out and I shuffle them around and display different stuff from time to time, but yeah, this one's probably due to be shown off. My box sets. I love my box sets. I love them. But next week, we will not be doing box sets. Eric Litwiller, Uncle Meat, mentioned I've done it twice now in a row, and that's fair. Hey, that's fair. This was a request. This was a special request. Somebody wanted to see my favorite box set, so here they are. You saw them. And Chris Sarr says, dust them off. It's 100% right. So we'll do something different next time. Again, I'm thinking about doing my favorite vinyl, but let me know what you think. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you want to see, and I will dig it up and maybe dust it off even. Maybe. I don't make any promises here. What you're seeing is free entertainment during a worldwide pandemic, so don't expect too much, you sons of bitches. But thank you. Thank you for joining this evening. I always have a good time doing this. Um, the last few of these that I've done has more been me talking and doing show and tell rather than talking back and forth, which is what we did in the first few live streams. I enjoy a bit of both, but Harrison Kopp just sent me a private message with his suggestion for what we'd like to see next week. It's a good suggestion. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to do more of the. We're going to be in this for the long haul. Let's face it. This is the beginning of live streaming, not the end. So I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear how you're doing. Maybe next week I'll structure it a little differently so we can have some more back and forth and just communicate a little bit, because that's important too. I am here to entertain you and me, and but I also want to just I want to connect as well, because we don't have a lot of connection right now, and whether you're near or far, we can still connect. And if you're having a shit day and you need to talk about it, then you go right ahead. You talk about it and I'll listen. If you're having a great day and you want to share what happened to you today that makes you smile, that's awesome too. I want to hear it and I'll read it for everybody. We are all in this together, and we are unfortunately just getting started with these live streams. This isn't going to be ending anytime soon. But, even when this does end, I'm thinking I might continue live streaming from time to time, because this has been good for everybody, I think. I really want one day to be able to live stream a show from the cottage. I think that would be incredible. You can hear a little bit of the birds chirping outside, but up there you hear a lot of cool shit. That's kind of my dream. Maybe we'll get up there this summer. I'm really hoping. One last thing before we wrap up this show. I have invested in a webcam, a brand new webcam that's supposedly 1080p. If it works out, then perhaps in the coming weeks we will have a show that is not vertical video, but with the same video quality. Better audio quality too, because I'll be able to use my Blue Snowball microphone if I can get everything to work. Webcams have been in short supply ever since this crisis started. I hope I snagged a good one. I guess we'll find out. But thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Next week we'll do something different. Maybe we'll do favorite vinyl. Maybe we'll do favorite bootlegs, as Harrison suggested. That might be interesting. Might be more difficult because I have to locate all the bootlegs. You can't see the mountain of unorganized CDs. So I might choose not to do that simply because it's difficult. But thank you for watching. You take care. We'll see you in a week, roughly. And stay safe. Bye.